You don't ask for help. You just figure it out every time. When things fall apart, you go quiet. You don't cry. You plan. You rebuild again and again because no one else ever did it for you. People call you strong, independent, unstoppable, but they don't see the exhaustion hiding behind your composure. They don't see how it feels to carry everything alone, not because you want to, but because you learned you had to. Hyper-independence isn't confidence, it's armor. It's what happens when the people who were supposed to catch you never did. And now, even when love tries to reach you, you flinch, you smile, you say, "I'm fine," because needing someone feels dangerous, because vulnerability once meant pain. You've become your own savior and your own prison. Hyper-independence isn't strength, it's self-protection dressed as resilience. It's the quiet armor built by those who learn too early that depending on others leads to disappointment. For the hyper-independent, asking for help feels like standing on the edge of a cliff. It's not that they don't want connection, they just don't believe it's safe. Every "I'm fine" is a defense mechanism. Every refusal of help is a survival reflex. They've trained themselves to carry everything alone, because once upon a time, there was no one else to carry it. It often starts in childhood in moments too small to seem traumatic. A cry unanswered, a need ignored, a feeling dismissed. The child learns that needing others only leads to pain. So they stop reaching out. They stop trusting. They become self-sufficient out of necessity, not pride. As they grow, that self-sufficiency becomes identity. They build walls disguised as boundaries and call the fortress peace. But inside, it's quiet, too quiet, because independence without connection slowly becomes isolation. To the outside world, they look strong, reliable, composed, unshakable. But beneath the surface, they're exhausted from holding it all together. Their strength is real, but it's born from fear, not freedom. They've mistaken control for safety and solitude for self-love. But hyper-independence isn't healing, it's hiding. It's the body's way of saying, "I'll never be abandoned again, even if it means abandoning myself first." Hyper-independence is what happens when attachment and abandonment collide. It's born in the quiet tension between wanting love and fearing what it costs. When a child grows up in an unpredictable emotional environment where love is inconsistent, conditional, or withdrawn as punishment, they begin to associate dependence with danger. The very thing that should bring safety begins to feel threatening. In psychology, this is called avoidant attachment, a coping mechanism built on the idea that closeness equals vulnerability, and vulnerability equals pain. So they learn to suppress the need for others. They become their own parent, their own protector, their own comfort. But independence built from fear isn't true independence, it's emotional exile. It's a self-made island where no one can hurt you, but no one can reach you either. The hyper-independent person doesn't reject love, they simply don't trust it. Love, to them, is unstable terrain. It's filled with invisible rules and unpredictable reactions, so they choose control over connection, solitude over uncertainty. They start to equate strength with silence and boundaries with walls. And while the world applauds their self-sufficiency, inside, they are quietly starving for something safe enough to lean on. This pattern isn't about arrogance, it's about fear. The fear of being disappointed again. The fear of needing too much. The fear that if someone truly saw them fragile, tired, human, they'd walk away. And so, they stay composed. They overfunction. They fix, help, and listen but never reveal their own cracks. Because vulnerability feels like exposure, not connection. Psychologists often describe this as compulsive self-reliance, a behavior rooted in early emotional neglect. It's not a conscious choice, it's the nervous system's adaptation to an unsafe environment. It says, if I never depend on anyone, I can't be disappointed again. But this survival mechanism comes at a cost. When you spend years proving you don't need anyone, you forget how to let people in. You become fluent in solitude and illiterate in receiving care. Even in relationships, hyper-independent people feel like observers, never fully present, always half-guarded. They crave closeness, but when it comes, they flinch. They disappear behind politeness, humor, or distraction, anything to avoid being truly seen. And over time, the isolation becomes a comfort zone. The silence becomes soothing, until one day, they realize that the same walls that kept pain out have also kept love out. Hyper-independence, at its core, is a form of grief, a mourning for the safety that was never given, the comfort that never came, the trust that never had time to grow. And yet, beneath all the strength, there is still that small, hidden part. The child who once reached out and found nothing waiting, that child is still there, quietly waiting for someone safe enough to say, "You don't have to do this alone anymore." You tell yourself you're fine, that you don't need anyone. You convince yourself that needing help is weakness, that asking means burdening others. So you keep moving, even when you're breaking. You keep giving, even when you're empty. Every time someone offers help, you smile and say, "It's okay, I've got it." But deep down, you're tired. Not just physically tired of being the strong one, tired of always holding it together, tired of never being held. You've built your life on self-reliance, a fortress made of resilience and silence. No one sees the walls you've built because you decorate them with competence. They see someone who has it all figured out, but no one notices the loneliness behind your independence. Hyper-independence feels safe until it starts to feel like a cage. You look around and realize you've built a life so self-sufficient that there's no room left for anyone else. No one to lean on, no one to fall with, no one to say, "You don't have to do this alone." You're proud of your strength, but sometimes you wish someone would see the exhaustion behind it. Because being strong all the time isn't strength, it's fear in disguise. Fear of being let down, fear of needing too much. Fear that no one will show up if you finally say, "I need help." And so, you stay busy. You keep moving. You keep pretending that solitude is peace when deep down, it's just survival. You've spent so long holding everything together that letting go feels dangerous. Even when someone offers to help, your first instinct is to smile and say, "I'm fine," because somewhere deep down, you learn that needing anyone only leads to disappointment. But healing doesn't begin with strength, it begins with safety. And safety isn't built by isolation, it's built through trust. Hyper-independence isn't your flaw, it's your scar. It's the mark of every time you reached out and no one came. Every time you had to be your own parent, your own comfort, your own protector. But survival isn't the same as living. You were never meant to carry everything alone. You learned to armor yourself because it was the only way to stay alive. But the armor that once kept you safe now keeps love from reaching you. Healing doesn't mean you stop being strong. It means your strength no longer comes from fear. It means you can accept help without feeling weak. It means you can rest without guilt. You begin to understand that real independence isn't isolation, it's choice. It's being able to stand alone, but also being open enough to let someone stand beside you. Let your walls soften. Let your silence breathe. Let the version of you that had to survive finally put down the sword. You don't have to earn peace by suffering for it. You just have to allow yourself to be held, not because you're broken, but because you've always deserved to feel safe. You don't have to prove your strength by being alone. You don't have to earn love by never needing it. Let someone see you, not the version you built to survive, but the one that quietly waited underneath, hoping to rest. There's no weakness in wanting to be held. There's no failure in needing connection. Even the strongest souls deserve softness. So, if you've spent years building walls, maybe healing starts the moment you stop guarding the door.